What's up, everybody? This is okay. This is Shaun Perot right here, and, and he just recorded his solo for Bijou. So, what was your process in writing a solo?
Did you just call it Beetlejuice?
Did I?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Bijou.
Bijou. I thought I said Beetlejuice. Yeah.
So he just recorded his solo for Bijou. So Shaun, what was your process? Did you think about it? Did you improv it, or how did you go about writing solo? What was going through your head?
Well, first, I just want to say I believe it was the glasses that really helped me just come up with the solo, because it just it takes my eyes off the guitar, so to speak. No, seriously, I can't see with these things on. Anyways, what were we talking about? Yes. Yeah, so honestly, the thing that I really enjoyed about the writing process with a solo is, for those of you who don't know, I took a break from writing metal music and guitar-related music for a while after studying it in school, and picked up electronic music. It just was a way that was freeing to me as a guitarist or musician for, at that point, it was 12, 13 something years. But anyway, 16 years we'll say in general. But yeah, so this is the first guitar solo I've written in 7 years. So I wanted to do something interesting, but not shreddy, so to speak. It's funny because I think it came out pretty shreddy either way.
Yeah,
but as in something that wasn't overly shreddy for me. But I wanted to explore something that I personally didn't get to explore, which was the diminished scale. As funny as that sounds after studying jazz, but I didn't get to explore it as much as I'd like to. So it was cool to finally get that introspect on the diminished scale and the multiple layers it has. And it's because I was showing you how there's so much you can build upon in it, and there's so many chordal functions you can slip in and out of, some really cool points about the solo. If anybody stops and starts the clip, they could see me just changing modes. So the cool thing is with diminished is, since you've got that sense of not atonality, but I'm forgetting words right now. That tritone. There it is. Yeah, that tritone and, just that dissonance. You can slip in and out of keys. So I thought that's always just a really cool thing about those type of scales. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I can just have this beautiful sound of major and all of a sudden just destroy it with a diminished or augmented sounding chord, or just use tones, that stick out like a sore thumb, sevenths or tritones, which if you don't know what those are, you should go look up music intervals, especially the devil's interval, tritone. It'll make everybody and your grandma happy. Anyways, yeah, and there's just this one part of the solo that just as funny as it is, what brought it together. I was riffing the other day when I was writing it, and when I got that little part together, me doing a terrible impression of it, but it reminded me of kind of when I listen to that Pan-Asian type of music where you hear that fast bending and everything like that for the microtones. It's really cool. So because I remember you were talking about this is what, this is some sort of anime character, correct, or some sort of
anime creatures.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, cool, the Asian culture, might as well try to do something that replicates their instruments. So when I heard that, all of a sudden it came together, and I kid you not, that line, I was just messing around. I was like, oh my god, I can't think of anything. Then I heard that, I was like, doo-doo-doo-doo. I was like, oh, started messing around, and that's really how it came about. And from there, it was just a process of just how do I make this as simple as possible for me, but yet challenging? That's the thing I usually ask myself when I write a solo, because the thing I used to do all the time, and I hope this helps somebody out there that hears it, but is I feel so many guitar players just go in like a bull in the china shop and just try to outdo themselves in every solo. And I mean, that's great. That builds a hell of a guitar player or a hell of a musician, but at the same time, it's just man, give yourself a break and let yourself enjoy what you're playing. You should be able to there your eyes sometimes and just do you have that majestic moment where you're looking out to the sea and the whole 80s metal thing? I'm just kidding. But there should be those moments where you feel really connected with the music, and I mean the solo, that's a pretty important part. that's literally your spotlight. So, sometimes it's cool to just back off and just like not shred it up, or just like something where it's comparable and challenging, but also very, very relaxing at the same time. So I feel like that's something that like some players don't do. But the cool thing is, if you do the have the bull in the china shop approach, is that you can cut the fat, so to speak. That gives you a lot to work with. If you're just like shredding up a storm, coming up with links of licks. That's a tricky phrase to say. Links of licks. Say that 10 times fast, but you can't. And if you do, you suck. Anyway, so when you bring that together, it just like, you start to learn how the whole process of phrasing happens. So hope that was a good answer for you.
Cool. All right. So how'd you get into, first of all, how'd you get into guitar, and how'd that lead you into like, metal and stuff like that?
This is brought to you by Angry Kitty on the bottom of my bottle. Just saying.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Anyways, how'd I get into guitar? And music and all that stuff. Honestly, I used to listen to music all the time when I was a kid, driving from Florida, when I lived here for the first time, driving from Florida to New York with my mom, or Virginia to New York all the time. And I remember it was like when I was in 4th grade, my cousin let me hear Linkin Park for the first time, and it was Hybrid Theory, and like I ate it up. And at first it started as this thing of like, because like I remember, I think it was track number. Yeah, this tells you how old I am. You're gonna have to edit this to make me sound more hip. But
definitely not editing
track 3. I forget what it's called. What is that one called? Forfeit the game. So I don't even remember the lyrics. And yeah, whatever that one. You like the dun 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 da 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 da. I don't even remember. Whatever. All I remember is Mike Shinoda said "fight" in it or something like that. And when I was a kid, I thought he said "fuck," and I was just like, "Oh, can we say fuck on the air?"
Yes, you can.
Oh, good. I'm so fucking glad. All right. So, anyways, I thought he said that. So, like, when you're in 3rd grade, like back when I'm really sounding like an old person. Back when I was growing up, that was like the most badass thing ever. So I was like, oh my god, I gotta get this. And it doesn't say parental advisory, so I know my mom will let me have it. So what happened the next day? Got it. And that was my travel album. And then like, it's funny as something so childish started, just to hear the word fuck, started from that to just like all of a sudden hearing In the End as like a 3rd grader and just being completely consumed by it and realizing, oh my god, this is doing something special to me. But it wasn't until 6th grade that I knew that I wanted to play guitar, because one of my good friends at the time played guitar and I thought he was a badass. And but right before that, I had heard the song "Stupid Girl" by Cold. Remember them? Year of the Spider? That's still one of my favorite breakup albums to this day. But it's great for breakups and when you're super sad. That's yeah, check it out, kiddos. It's Cold, Year of the Spider. Anyways, but yeah, I heard that pick slide and "Stupid Girl" and I was like, ooh! And then like I was sold. I seriously was sold. I told my mom, I was like, I want to learn how to play guitar. And that Christmas, it'll actually be 16 years this Christmas. Crazy, right? Wow. Crazy, I am that old.
How old are you?
Turning 28.
Are you really? Oh.
I forgot my age last year. I literally thought I was a year younger than I am.
So you're only 2 years older than me, okay?
Yeah. It's okay. You can tell everybody I'm younger. But anyways, yeah, so that's initially how I got into music, and then after that, it was just an obsession at that point. I mean, an absolute obsession. First guitar lesson, like, I wasn't nervous. I was just really soaking in every word my guitar instructor said, and I remember we learned "Sweet Child of Mine," and like I remember learning the lick to it because like he tried to teach me Smoke on the Water, and I just blasted through it because I was just like obsessed. I'd already like started learning stuff before I got into the lesson. I was in 6th grade at that point, so it's pretty weird for him because like again, that was right before YouTube. That was before YouTube, everything like that. When kids were just like video games still, but like that was the only thing we had. We didn't have everything else, but yeah, and like. After that, like I remember the second lesson, we just jumped right into learning Blink-182 and other things, and then by like after the first month, I was learning how to play like Slipknot and stuff like that, and then just it's just like I was obsessed. That was the thing. It's like I literally would spend all day playing guitar, and by half the year was in, that's when I started learning my first solo. Oh God, I'm trying to think what Ozzy song it is. It's one that's like I'm not the person that you really think I am. You know what I'm talking about? Whatever. Anyways.
I know that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, I just remember hearing Zakk Wylde solo and feeling like, that's the one. And yeah, learning that solo. That's literally downward spiral.
You mean the upward spiral?
Downward, absolutely. The upward spiral was when I found out about Lamb of God. Year and a half into playing. By this point, my instructor left the place I was at, and I stopped taking music lessons. And one of my friends showed me Lamb of God, and I heard Laid to Rest the first time. Another big game changer was just dropped into my lap. I like forever changed my guitar playing, and like I found out about them, and then shortly after that, I still look up to him like as a guitar player. Alexi Leho from Children of Bodom. I was so obsessed with them, and yeah, it was just absolutely awesome to learn stuff like that. Now it's funny because like I'll go back and learn some of that stuff because as a kid, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, like I know I said like I was tackling these harder things, but my rhythm and my like sense of timing, don't even get me started. Yeah, oh man, it was awful. But nowadays it's nostalgic going back to it. It's really fun. So yeah, hope that answers your question.
Cool. Oh wow. All right.
I had a lot of caffeine before we did this interview, so that's why I'm just jabba.
Well, nothing wrong with that. More content. I'll say this is the longest interview I've done so far. So
nice.
So yeah, you got any projects you're working on? Like what are you currently involved in music wise?
Good Lord, they never stop. So for those of you who don't know, I actually have an electronic project called Showpro. That's the best way to put it. I used to just call it EDM because like I just wrote electronic dance music, and then it just started evolving. Short backstory, I feel like every freaking avenue I've gone down, from like the avant-garde approach to classical music to everything, literally I feel like I've always been the punk rocker in every one of those scenarios that I tried to fit in, the molds I tried to fit into, where just like I always did it wrong, and it ended up becoming me in the end. So was it really wrong? That's the real question. But yeah, it's the same with electronic music. Like it ended up getting to a point where I just realized I liked playing instruments, and I didn't like following rules. Like I wasn't a fan of the templates, but you know, I have a project called Showpro anyways. This is my short little backstory, but yeah, and it's really heavily involved with obviously electronic music, but right now I'm in the process of really bringing the project back to a live project rather than just a dormant production project where I make songs for people or myself, and where I'm going to be finger drumming, where I'm going to be taking full songs and putting them to what's called a 64 pad mode. There's 64 pads where I'm controlling all the song, whether I'm finger drumming the entire thing or I'm using it as what's called a sequencer, where, ready for it? You press buttons. I'm sure someone's gonna leave a comment about that one. Here's that for you. Anyways, But it's okay. They're just fret pushers, anyways.
Whoa! Oh, there go all the views. The most disliked video ever. I can see it right now.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I love my fret pushers. I'm a fret pusher. So, but no, like, so that way you can have pretty much a full band behind you. Now, I know some people love having a full band behind them, and that's great. I'm so glad some people can do that. But me, I'm the type of person. It's like we were talking about something a little earlier, where like I'm just the go type of person. Like where if I have an idea, I gotta nail it. I gotta get it out. Or if I don't, I'm gonna go absolutely insane. So it's cool because like I can have all these parts to my live performance, and I can be playing the finger drums and hit a part so it's sequenced, grab my guitar, play, and sing at the same time. Already know that part that I hit those sequence has harmonies and everything. So that's the big project, and it's just time consuming because I have to take a lot of songs and just like deconstruct them and then figure out how do I take a song like Newfound Glories, It's All Down from all downhill from here, and how do I make that danceable, like in my retrospect danceable, and sound like me. Those two questions right there. And of course, number 3, how do I make it interesting? So then I have to deconstruct that, play all those parts, re-record it, do all the editing and everything like that, and then comes out that. And I got to repeat that process over and over and over again until I have a full set. So that's on that end. And then the other end of the spectrum, I've got some cool rap project that's going to be starting soon. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I get to make beats for this person, and it's been pretty dope because I've been able to explore a little bit more avenues. And on top of that, other than that, it's just like I've been making background music for people for their YouTube videos, and and then like just helping create things for people, like mixes and stuff like that for dancers and whatnot. It's like you wouldn't believe the amount of people that like really want like professional mixes, like for whether it's for like, and when I say dancers, I don't mean just strippers. I mean like burlesque dancers, and also just like
I was actually thinking more like ballet or something.
Well, no, like also people like that are like doing group dances and stuff like that. You'd be surprised the amount of people that will hit you up for stuff like that. And even, not even that, it's just like some people actually just literally hit you up and be like, hey, I heard one of your mixes, I would love my own personal gym playlist, and they will pay you for it. And yeah, it's fun. You get to have fun and get paid, so that's so hope that answers your question. I never stop. That's really if you have to hear anything from this, I never stop. I literally I'm always doing something musical, and that's why I'm insane.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that is Shaun Chopereau. Just did a solo for Bijou. Thank you all for listening and watching, and rock on.
Woo! Nipples.